So the Satisfactory development team has released a new video featuring their game director, Oscar Yilson, and I apologize in advance for butchering your name. This video gives us some insight into the world of a game director, but also some insight into Satisfactory itself, which is where I come in to break down every single thing shown in the video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. The first piece of information comes when Oscar is talking about crafting reinforced steel plates. He says in order to make one, it will take 1.5 constructors, or you can overclock the machine to produce the plate. He doesn't elaborate any further on this overclocking mechanic. I'm going to speculate here and say likely to make this plate, you'll normally need 2 constructors, but the actual build value of the plate is 1.5. This means that you could potentially overclock one machine to have a value of 1.5 instead of needing 2 machines. The trade-off for this could be that the machine is using more power than normal, but once again, this is just kind of speculation. Our next piece of information comes from them telling us how we can differentiate our different systems, and they gave us the information that we can color coordinate things in the game. There are ways to paint buildings and vehicles. If you want to color something yellow that transports gold, then you can totally do that. But if you're like me, you'll probably just use this feature to make an awesome looking base. The next thing I want to cover are these pictures on the wall. And to be honest with you, I have no clue what these could be. And some of it even looks like concept art. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you have any ideas toward what could be shown in these pictures? The last thing, and probably the biggest thing in this video, is the Trello page. Trello is basically an agenda app. Things that these guys want to put into the game, but not really sure. It was more of a way for them to collectively get their ideas together. For all we know, this could just be a huge troll by Simon, but nevertheless, let's get into this. Looking from left to right, when the screen first comes up into the scene, we can see an area where they are talking about weaponry. Terms like minigun, lasers, combat vehicles, and something that drops bombs. To me, it looks like the game will have a pretty deep combat system for your character to play around with on adventures. But remember, we already discussed that nothing will be attacking your base. So these will most likely be used by you or your team to explore new areas. Next up in the environmental section, we have satellites. I'm not entirely sure what this would be used for, maybe for a way to control different systems from anywhere on the map, but once again, that's speculation. Weather and environmental changes is on the board, but no details yet. We haven't seen any weather yet in any of the trailers, so hopefully we'll see some soon. It would be cool to have acid rain or something similar in the game. Next is plants. We don't get any elaboration on this. Is there botany, things we need to collect, or are they just making the place look pretty? We don't know. Next is flattening terrain. I think this would be a really nice feature, especially as someone who comes from the Ark community, where we're not able to do anything like that, so sometimes you just have a big hill in your base. Seems like there will be some sort of survival aspect in the game as well, since air, food, and water are all mentioned. I like this feature for added difficulty, and I hope that it makes it into the final build of the game. Next, they talk about aquatic expansion, but once again, don't really go into detail. Are they talking about the amounts of water on the map, like oceans and seas, or are they talking about more things in the water, like creatures? We're not really sure. There's no elaboration on that at all. This is the part that I think kind of throws off the entire board and makes me think that the board could be just a big troll. There is mention of pollution, but we already know from the PC Games In interview that there is no pollution system in the game. They thought about it but decided against it. This is what makes me feel like this whole board was just ideas and not necessarily features. Next, we have the power section, in which everything seems kind of self-explanatory. We will have batteries, ways to produce power, including nuclear, ways to transmit power and move it, The last thing in this section is the clap sensor. I really hope this is a way for you to control things just by clapping. I feel like showing off new things that I've built in a video by having the lights turn on with it would be really cool. Next, we have the transportation section, in which they include vehicle customization, the train system that we've seen previously, teleportation, which I feel may be a bit weird in a game like this, but who really knows, electric vehicles, and even mounts. Now, the mounts part is really interesting to me because in the frame-by-frame analysis video that I did a while back, we found a creature in the background that looks similar to a large elephant. And I'm going to speculate here that this is one of the large mounts. Next thing that's mentioned is lizard doggo traversability, probably referring to its pathing, how it will follow you and how you will transport it on vehicles. This is kind of what I'm thinking that's talking about. Next, it talks about grappling hooks and gliders, giving us even more ways to explore the world. The next section is the machinery section. First thing to point out is the mention of the research or skill tree. So it seems like an Arc Ingram system where you'll have to unlock the next thing that you want to build on your journey. Next, we have the tiered machines and upgradable machines. This could be referring to the overclocking system that he mentioned in the earlier part of the video, or it could be something completely new. We're not really sure at this point. The last section on the page is the quality of life and efficiency section. This covers notifications, input and output menus, as well as logical systems like computer craft, scanner archives, and blueprints. I'm pretty sure I've covered blueprints before in a video during the frame by frame, but if not, I'll cover it again here briefly because we actually see it being used in the trailer where they are mass building multiple structures instead of placing each individual piece. It seems like it'll be a lifesaver when making large bases. The last section is the miscellaneous section. This is basically side stuff to do in the game, like quests, game goals, Easter eggs, the end game, house building, furniture, tools, and some sort of shop. But remember, there are no microtransactions in the game, so this must be some sort of resource trade. And lastly, they mention pets. And as if that wasn't enough, they continued scrolling down the miscellaneous list to show the last important section: part ordering and delivery. If this is what I think it is, it will be a welcome feature. I imagine this to be some sort of call functionality, so that you can call certain parts to be brought to you or called to be made without you being around. This could be useful for something that is very expensive that you don't need a lot of, or if you forget something that you've already left on your adventure. Anyway guys, there was a lot of information to get through here, but I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like on the video, as well as if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. You guys have a great day.